Sorry, guys. I thought I was already live. I forgot. I guess I didn't press the button. Hmm. Can everybody hear me? Testing. 1, 2, 3. I hope you hear me. My hair is a mess. That's alright. Loud and clear. Okay. Well, that's what I like to hear. And you can see on the bottom of the screen going across, that's how I believe that's my PayPal account name going across there. So if anybody wants to ever donate a little bit of money, it goes all to this channel. It does not go to anything personal or anything. Just, leave a little note when you send it through PayPal. That way I know, you know, that you're not somebody paying for an item or something like that. But it all goes into the YouTube fund for this channel, which goes in this envelope right here. And it goes right here in the desk drawer right beside me. And that way when I go live, if we can have contests, we can keep the channel going, and boost my channel up in the future and so forth. So but let's see who all we have in here, and this is so hard to do because I gotta look at my computer. The TV screen is cutting some of this off. So let me go back up here to the beginning. I know Grandpa Rails was in here earlier. Before I ever even went live. That was long. There we go. Now I'm back. Anyway, back to what I was attempting to do before I tried to take out my own live stream. Grandpa Rails was in here earlier saying he'll catch the replay and have a good show. New Ferris Railroad, welcome. Schuylkill River Valley, John. PDRRE or PDRR engineer. Oh geez, I'm gonna screw something up tonight. Welcome Art. Let's see who else we have here. New Ferris. John 2618, welcome. Dave BNSF N-Scale, welcome. Jerry Satz. We all know who you are, Jerry. You changed your name on us. But I agree with Sparky what he said last night. Where did you actually sat at? Or sit at? Jerry sat at the restaurant. Use that in a sentence 30 times. But anyway, let's see. Welcome, Jerry. Dave, we got you. There's Wilmer, Indian Head Valley Railroad. Haven't seen Wilmer for quite a while. Of course, I haven't seen a lot of you for quite a while, I guess. Being that I haven't really been on here much. life gets in the way, and that's what happens. Everybody knows that deal. The Carver, welcome. Who else we have in here? Manny, Fiane. Oh, I'm not even gonna try to do the last name tonight. Welcome Manny into the chat. Digger Evans, welcome. Who else? Possum Bayou, welcome. Chasco, welcome. Manny we got. Digger we got. New Ferris, Jerry, and seems to be about 13 of you in here. So that's a good start. So anyway, guys, I'm going to attempt, and this is probably the first time I've attempted this, but we're going to talk about furnace filter here in a few minutes. As soon as I get my opening stuff out of the way here, besides saying the highs and all that good stuff, we're going into our weekly live chats. First of all, we're going to start off with Mondays. Usually Sunday is the first day of the week, but we'll start off with Monday, 7 p.m. Nate's HON3 East Broadtop Railroad. Check Nate out at 7 p.m. Eastern, and these are all Eastern time, guys, so U.S. 8 p.m. Tom's Trains and Things, also on Mondays. Tuesday we have at 3 p.m. Barnumness Junction. So check him out at 3 p.m. That's one of the earlier guys that's on. But also on Tuesday nights is 7 p.m. On Track Tuesday, we have Indian Head Valley Railroad. The first week, Redbird Tony 2010. The second week, Creative Rails Boxcar Benny. The third week, or the third one of the month, that's usually how it's supposed to go, but you know, going month to month, it rolls over into somebody else instead of Wilmer all the time. But Crooked River in Eastern is the fourth live stream to that group, which is Dave Ferber. I always want to say John. There's a lot of Johns in here for some reason. I don't know. Not a lot of Days, but a lot of Johns. But that pretty much takes care of Tuesday, and now I'm dropping my ink pen that I'm throwing all over the place. But anyway, it looks like I seen Nancy Jones in here. Yes, I did. I see part of it, part of her name in there. Welcome, Nancy. Wednesdays we have 7 p.m. Sparky 107. Last night he had Alex Brockway, I believe. And that's bad. Can't even remember names, but the guy from OVR that sponsors him, the name just went out the door, obviously, in my head. But anyway, he was also a guest on there. And I apologize, Sparky, if you come in here and or watch this live stream for forgetting your sponsor's name. 8 p.m. we got Michael McCarville. 9 p.m. we have I'm trying to think of what it Model Railroader Live or Model, yeah. Well, anyway, it's who's Big Bill talking to. I can't even remember what the MRL means, but it's the MRL Live group, and Big Bill is on at 9 on Wednesday nights. Thursdays we have a whole load of live streams. 7 p.m. of course you get stuck with me for an hour. Train Tunnel Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Cross the Anchors Railroad Stern Show, or STEM Stern Show, STEM Show, something like that. But it's Brian and can't remember the other guy's name, but he's also on there as a host. And there's another guy that I can't even remember yes, Model Railroading Live. Thank you, Dave. I was going to say that, and I wasn't sure if that was actually... I almost said Model Railroader Live, and that would have been, well, close, but that would have been sort of like the magazine group that I think also has a channel. But anyway, Cross Anchors at 8 p.m. Also at 8 p.m., there is a new group on YouTube, Third Rail Thursday. Now, this group is similar to the On Track Tuesday group with Wilmer and Dave and Boxcar Benny and Tony. This group consists of Dave H88, Go Viva or Go Home, which is VIA. I'm assuming that's how you... Yes, Mike. Brian and Mike. Thank you, Digger. But Go Viva or Go Home. M&M Rails, which is Mark from over in Canada. And GVO After Dark. Now, not sure what they do on their 5th Thursday, if there is one. I'm guessing that, they might not have a guest. They might just keep turning over, to each other. I don't know. But On Track Tuesday does have the 5th Tuesday, and they do have a guest, or, they work something out, to have somebody for the 5th Tuesday. I'm assuming the Third Rail Thursday is the same way. I can't be too sure. But at 9 p.m., we have Johnny's Train Talk Live, which is the Model Railroading Live group. And that would be, Johnny. And I'm not sure of his last name, but I've been on their show with him on the panel one night when it was still YouTube Model Builders Live. So, but anyway, that pretty much covers Thursdays. On the Fridays, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Anthony Dodge, the Model Train Outsider, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Then there's a possibility at 7 p.m. on Fridays, you might get stuck with me for a second night during the week. I'm working on that. I'm not sure how I'm going to plan that yet, but I'm trying to slip myself into the 7 p.m. Eastern time spot on Friday evenings. Because in case I don't get to do my Thursday or my train tunnel Thursday, I can do, go to my second backup night, or I can do a double live stream 2 nights in a row. So that should be, something to look for here sometime soon in the near future, maybe. I got to work on it because I pick my daughter up on Friday evenings, and some of those Fridays are probably going to get ditched out the door before I even get to think about having a live show on Fridays. So, well, I'll see what I can do with that. But I talked it over with Vinny, and he said, go for it, and there's no reason why I couldn't go ahead of him before he goes on. And I'm sure I'll be totally off the air way before his comes on. But anyway, 8 p.m. brings me to the Hanging with the Cuz, aka BNSF 6951, or also aka Big Brother to a lot of us, and our cousin Vinny. So check him out at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. Saturdays, we have a few time slots. 10 a.m. in the morning, which seems to be the only morning live stream right now in this whole list. Back on Track at 10 a.m. Eastern. So check those guys out. They get a little wild at times. I know Brian from the Iron Horse Railroad is involved in that group, and I believe Vinny might. I don't know if cousin Vinny is still part of that group or not. But Shannon and there's a couple other ones I think that might be in there also. But 7 p.m. Saturday night. And speaking of the cuz, he's in the chat. I just seen him go up through there and say hi, Rodney. Or hey, Rodney. Glad to have you in here, cousin Vinny. 7 p.m. RWC Toyman. Now, if you want to get into a good live stream, and I'm not cutting anybody else out, but Ron Toyman is definitely a good live stream to check out. He does running of his layout his trains. Then the second half of his live stream, however many hours it might go. Sometimes it goes 6, sometimes it goes all night. But he runs trains the first part of the live stream, and then he pulls people up on his panel and talks to them about different stuff. And of course that live stream is also rated, so it's not necessarily made for or at all for kids, because we do get a little wild in there some nights, and it goes beyond different stuff. So anyway, also Saturday night, 9 p.m., Cross Anchors Railroad After Dark. That's their second live stream that Brian and Mike do. And that one is on at 9 p.m. on Saturday nights Eastern. Sunday, 7 p.m., we have Northern Ohio Railroad Action, also known as Nora. His real name's Jake, but we call him Nora because of his YouTube channel name. But it's Northern Ohio Railroad Action, which actually spells Nora with the first letters. So check him out. 8 p.m. we have Sidetrack Sunday. Now here's another group of 4 guys. Schuylkill River Bowie, who is John. Humility Junction, or Human City, or however you want to pronounce it, Junction, which is Heath. He does the second week. The Train Freak, which I believe is named Jason, if I'm not mistaken, he does the third Sunday. And Ray Boble, who actually started the whole thing by having Sidetrack Sunday just for him, before it was made into a group thing. Ray Boble is the 4th guy. So that's pretty much the live streams, guys. I hope I covered everybody. And then of course you got a host of other shows. Wilmer from the Inhead Valley Railroad, not bad. Dispatch with Roy Smith over in Panama. And there's a few other ones. I think there's Ron's Workbench with Ron Piskel. Car Barn with Ralph Greenwood. Yeah, it's Heath's fault. It's going to be called Blame Heath Channel. Oh, geez. Here we go. We've got part of Ray Boble's peanut gallery in here already. Yes, Community Roundhouse. I forgot all about that, Wilmer. I'm sorry. I did not have that listed on here. For some reason, it just... But that one is also a good one. Give me the time, Wilmer, so I can write that down. Or you can text it to me later. Or whenever. So I can write that down and not forget it again. But anyway, guys, now I'm going to attempt to And Dwayne's Fork and Spoon, welcome. I'm going to attempt to, obviously, my camera is not going where it's supposed to be going when I turn that down. 6 p.m. Wednesday, okay. I will write that down right now because if I don't, Wednesday, okay. Thanks, Wilmer. But anyway, I am trying to make, and I don't know why, this is not, if you all can see that, that is supposed to be the starting of a furnace filter tree. Now, being that I really don't have a lot of skills to make my own stuff, I will mention that I had this got this idea off of a few different channels. One being Ron's Trains and Things, which is actually the main one that gave me the idea to do this tonight. I mean, he didn't personally give the idea to me, but I seen his video on how to do furnace filter trees, and I mean, it needs a lot of work. It needs trimmed and everything, but I think I'll be able to actually, you know, get into it and actually be able to do a lot of these. So, but I will say that the skur sticks, I would find a piece of sandpaper and sand them down first. This is a sanding block from Harbor Freight. You can get these like 10 in a pack, and they've got 3 different grits, or fine, medium, or fine, medium, fine, or and coarse, I believe. But I would recommend sanding these down a little bit before, besides painting them. You know, sand them down, because I found out that I had a splinter from one of these earlier trying to push the actual pieces on there, and I had a little piece of wood sticking out of my finger, and I touched something and it hurt. So you may want to sand them down just to get the rough splinters off of there, and of course it will also help when you paint them. Now, I did not go through painting these. You can probably paint these in no time, a bunch of them, and you know, brown and grayish is normally what the bark is on a tree. So I would go with a brownish and a grayish, but the brown you put on there heavy, and then you know, your dry brush is your gray paint. That way it blends it in and gives it, you know, that bark look. That's just a, you know, a little tip for that part. Now, you can make these as long as you want, or as tall as you want, sorry. I mean, you could fill them up clear down, all depending on how high you actually want your pine tree. Yes, if you use a lot of imagination, you can imagine that as a tree. What these are going to be for my layout, though, they're basically going to be what I call fill-in trees. They're going to go in the back and then the ones that you can buy will go in the front that looks a little more realistic, that's already, you know, made up, and these will fill your background up, you know, because you can make them as tall as you want for any scale. I mean, it's long as you have a mountain that you can put them up on, you can make the tall as tall as you want, the whole skir stick if you want, and put them up on your back highest mountain, and you know, to make it look a little more realistic that way. Or you can turn it around and make them out of little toothpicks, and put them up there to make them look further away. It all depends on what the scene is that you're, you know, you want. I mean, I know this is tall. You know, all you need is a pair of cutters and cut this off. Basically, what this is supposed to represent, it's going to represent pine trees. That is what Ron from Ron's Trains and Things was making them out of. But I really think if you wanted to, you could take and push these up and make it thick, and you could actually make any tree you wanted, really. If you shape it, if you can shape it and make it look more like a tree, and any kind of tree, you know, this is the good way to make trees. All you need is the furnace filter material. Like I said before, I do not have no clue where I got this stuff at. It had to have been given to me because I did not buy it. But all I did was peel the 2 layers of this big piece in half to make 2 different pieces, and I started cutting it in strips and cut it in squares. And then, of course, when we get into this, I'll put this aside if it sets there. And how you do this, you take and cut sort of like a triangle out of this, out of the ends, like this. And here's another tip, guys. Don't get rid of your excess material, because there's all kinds of ideas that you could use the loose material for. You could use it, you could figure out how to make grass matting out of it and put it on your mountain like ground cover. Paint it, of course, first. Then, you know, glue it up there, and there's all kinds of ideas for the extra pieces, I mean, that come to mind. You can make, like I said, grass matting, or just put it around on buildings and make it look like it's grown up with vines and stuff. Technically, that don't look like anything, but after you get it on a skir stick and you trim like the corners and stuff like that off, something like that, just to give you an example. This one over here. What I'm doing, I'm making my squares bigger, because I want to be able to make my tree bulky looking. That way I don't have to build as many, maybe, and, you know, just get them in there and make them look like they're spaced they're going to be spaced apart, but not, you know, up against each other where they're drowning each other out, suffocating each other. So, but anyway, you take and cut it something like that. I mean, for the guys that don't know anything about the furnace trees, just trying to give everybody an idea if you never heard of it. I'm sure most of you have. Then, you know, you basically just going to trim the corners, but once it's up here on the actual skur stick, you can actually, you know, go around the whole thing and try to you know, trim it out. But that's basically, you know, how I'm going to try to do it. It may not look totally like trees, but I'm thinking once they're in the background of a better tree, something like these, and of course these are actually going to be smaller, but like your Woodland Scenics trees or something like that, it's definitely going to look, you know, sort of like I don't know if I can, there we go. They'll definitely kind of blend in once you know, get them all in there. And of course these has got to be painted, you know, green or whatever, and of course then you can dip it into your favorite of choice ground cover, burnt grass, which would be something you want to do if you want like a more of a dead look, starting of a dead look. Then, you know, you can paint it like a tannish or a brownish, you know, color to make it look like it's dying or already dead, and you can drop different fibers and stuff there on the ground underneath of it and make it look like it actually died off and dropping branches. So that's just my tip. You know, feel free to use them. You don't have to. Everybody has their own idea. This is just the way that I'm probably going to have to do mine, because I don't have a lot of skills to build my own stuff. But, you know, you can just keep trimming away at it and kind of get what you want. And, you know, if you're not satisfied for some reason, well, you know, you can always take the branches back off and redo them, or just put that one aside as a dead tree and, you know, cut more off of it and just kind of make it look like it's butchered, I guess. But that's basically, you know, how I'm kind of doing it. I mean, like I said, that don't look like much. It just looked like I just butchered it with the scissors. But I mean, something like that would blend in with the rest of them, and you would never even see it. So, but once something like this is painted up, you'll take and let the paint dry. You'll always want a piece of foam or a piece of wood or whatever you want to put your trees in to dry. And of course, always paint your sticks first. That's one of the main things. Always paint them first, That way you don't have to remove all this or, you know, paint it while it's in here. Or less that's your preference. Excuse me. But anyway, you'll paint this, let it dry, and then you'll take the cheapest hairspray, Aqua Net or something from the dollar store, or any of that will work. Spray this down till it's wet. Dip it in your favorite ground cover. Matter if it's green, brown, gray, whatever kind of trees you want to make. I mean, you know, make your fall collars rather. You know, you might want something orangish, yellowish, greenish, different colors like that, all mixed in together in a container, and spray it down with hairspray till it's soaking wet. Put all your ground cover on there, and then hit it with the hairspray again. That way, you know, everything's sticking. Of course, you got to just tap it, and it'll knock everything down. The excess off into your catch container, and spray it down with the hairspray again and let it dry. And then, you know, once you get 50, 100 or more of these done, you'll be able to, you know, plant trees. So that's just how I'm going to do it. I mean, I pushed all these up. So actually, with a pine tree, to make a pine tree, you want these spread apart so you can see some trunk in them, because some pine trees don't grow totally thick. I'm sure there's some around the world that does, but and I'll always try to make a top for, you know, for your tree. It don't necessarily have to be in a point. All trees don't go in a point. Some of them just got branches hanging off the top. But with a pine tree, you want daylight. Kind of like, well, if I can see the stick through there, you'll want daylight with a pine tree. That way, you know, because if you look at a real pine tree, you look through it and you see the trunk and everything through the branches, and the branches ain't all, you know, clumped together. So and I'm not too sure who that is. Hopefully my moderators are on that. But anyway, that's technically all at Ron's Trains and Things did. He just cut the squares, cut the corners and the, you know, the pieces out of here, like a triangle type cut on all four sides. So and then, you know, of course you take a stir stick, and you can buy these at the dollar store or your grocery store or anywhere, you know, that sells them. And basically it's simple. After you get them cut, you're just gonna slip the point through it. I mean, of course these ain't cut, but this gives you an idea. It just slips right through there. So Now, all depending on how thick you want your branches, you could leave these two layers here as one. I chose to tear them apart because I feel I'm going to be able to make twice as many trees out of one piece being tore apart than, you know, just one layer. So, but anyway, you know, that's all you have to do. Slip it through there after it's cut, the notches and everything. So, and it's simple. I mean, and you can do that with a little toothpick. Another way to do it would be, and I don't think I have a piece of wire anywhere. I'll use a toothpick or a paper clip just to show you what I'm talking about. And we'll take and bend. You got to pretend this is a piece of wire, guys. So, but anyway, you'll have something that looks like that, a piece of wire that's bent in half. You'll take this piece of wire, bend it up, okay? You'll cut your fibers into very like this one, cut it in half, and then you'll lay them in here like this. This is only if you want to use wire. Actually, you could probably cut these a little bit narrower, but I'm just doing this to try to show you. You'll put it in here like this, if I can get that on camera, and just place them there. And I don't have a third one. We'll just use this for now. Take and bend your wire down. Actually, get rid of that. Bend your wire down. Take a pair of pliers. Twist that on the end. Take a cordless drill. Slip one end into your cordless drill chuck. Tighten it down. Take your pair of needle nose or lineman pliers or whatever you have available. Hook to the other end. Squeeze the trigger of your drill, and this will twist, and it'll, you know, wind your branches around, and you have a wire branch tree with the furnace filter also. So that's another way to do it. And then on that piece of wire, on the what would be your trunk to stick into your foam, you can take a piece of aluminum foil and wrap around there and make, like, you know, creases in it with whatever you have available. Make little creases like bark. Paint it brown or gray, like a grayish brownish, and you have a trunk, and you'll never even know it's a wire. You just stick it in your foam or whatever your sub road bed is, cork or whatever. Just stick it in there, and you got an instant tree that way. So that's the wire method. I'm choosing to go with the stir stick method or the toothpick method because this is already wood, and it'll look a little, you know, little bit more realistic. But other than that, guys, I mean, that's basically what I have tonight. I hope that all that made sense. I mean, I know a lot of you probably already know the technique but just in case a lot of you guys never heard of it or never really got into anything like that, that's basically how it's done. I mean, it's basically simple when you think about it. The only thing that takes the time is a little bit of time is painting your sticks and cutting your furnace filter and notching it and so forth, and cutting your corners and trimming it to, you know, and shaping it like the tree that you want. So but we're down to 10 minutes, so go ahead and promote your channels, guys. Well, yeah, kind of hope so, Art, because these are going up on that mountain that I've been working on, trying to shape and carve, for the one that I promised my dad that we would have. And of course, my dad will never be able to see it because he's gone, but I promised him that we would have a big mountain up behind his trains and everything, and I chose to keep my promise. And I also chose to figure out a name to name it after him in memory of him, because it was something that we thought of together, and he'll never be able to see it. So yes, check BNSF 6951. Hanging out with the cuz tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Also here is the paint, a good paint to use on these trees. Either the Crayon camouflage or the Rust-Oleum camouflage colors. This is a brown. You can also get it in a green olive color, and a couple other colors, I believe, where the other colors are sold. But this is a good color to spray on the furnace filter when you're ready to paint everything. It brings out the, you know, the furnace filter per se, I guess what I want to say. But it'll give the tree, it'll make the trees pop, or the furnace filter pop, to make it, you know, look like it has the color of a tree, is what I'm trying to say, if that makes sense. But I mean, you can cut these to any length, any bit, or, you know, size you want. It all depends how bulky you want the bottom of the tree, and then of course as you go up, you'll want it to go into, some people like it into a point, like a Christmas tree, if you want Christmas tree looking pine trees. Evergreen trees is sort of the same. Sort of. It's pine trees has got pine needles. This ain't really needles, but you can make it, I guess, with twine. You could take pieces of twine and you know, glue it across and unravel it so far, I guess, and make little pieces like branches. I mean, there's all kinds of ideas. You just got to use your head and come up with your own idea, or steal one off of YouTube. Like I said, you can get these at probably at any paint or hardware store, because this is what this is. It's a paint. It's a paint sanding block. They use them. Painters use them to, sand stuff down to get ready to paint walls and so forth. But I bought them for my wood shop years ago, and Dad and I kind of used the fine grit ones to go across the rails of our track, just to get the black spots and everything off. This definitely works for Line L track. For HO, you gotta watch, because it's like a sandpaper. But I use it anyway. I just don't give it, a hard rub. I just basically go over the rails and give it a shine. It don't really do nothing to the rails, as long as you don't put a bunch of pressure on it. But you can tell where this one right here has been used on rusty rails before. So but I mean, it works. It's probably not highly recommended, but this is what I use to clean my rails lots of times. Besides alcohol and stuff like that. So, but these do work, but you need to get the fine grade. But anyway, go ahead and promote your channels. Talk about any contest. I've seen Vinny's name going up, and he's doing a cooking show Saturday. So check that out. That's always fun to see. Van how he have that. Chef R. Venzo, I believe, is how he had that last time when he did meatballs. So we're going to see Chef Vinny at it again. Going to see the cuz in the kitchen cooking something. So check that out. Secret family recipe. We're going to Kentucky Fried Vinny's, or Arizona Fried Vinny's, or I guess we could call it. Picking on you, cuz. It'll be alright, buddy. But anyway, let's see if I can adjust the camera. Look at this ugly mug. Going around. Yeah. I'm not even gonna repeat that, Roy. I'm not even gonna repeat that. But we'll throw it up here. Poor Vinny. But anyway, that's about it for me, guys. It's 8 o'clock. Enjoy the next live stream, which is, I believe, Cross Anchors Railroad, or if you prefer to go over to Third Rail Thursday, that's entirely up to you. Both of them's on at the same time. I have no control over that part, but it is what it is, I guess. So everybody have a good weekend. Check BNSF 6951 out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, hanging with cousin Vinny, and we'll catch you on the next live stream. I doubt I'll be trying to do tomorrow night's, or it all depends if I try to go on Friday yet. But I'm going to work on it some more and figure out some different material that I can put on. What I like to really do here real quick is have a panel one night and do a topic or a subject or something like this, like the trees, the other night. That way I don't have a panel and, then me thinking of an idea and having to do it the following 1 or 2 weeks away, when, at least if I have 2 nights on the same time spot, if I can't make it the first night, I can go over to the second night. And that's basically kind of what I want, a backup day. Or if I have something big going on that I think I can do both nights, I can do a double nighter. So we'll keep working on that. Till then, guys, we'll catch you later. Check out Vinny tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and we'll see ya. Have a good weekend. Be safe.